Hello everybody, back again with another video. Hope you're doing well. Hope your life's going well. Hope this week has gone well for you, and I hope that today has gone well for you. Today is Sunday. It is Sunday morning. It is October 5th, 2025. It is about 11:07 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I hope that y'all are having a wonderful Sunday morning. I hope it's been a productive and a fun weekend for you. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Actually, when I get done making this video, I'll probably go out for a walk, then I'll run a few errands, and then I will meal prep and call it a day. But what I really want to talk about in this video is if you all have spent any amount of time on social media, primarily TikTok, although I've seen plenty of these videos on YouTube as well. They have this prank that they're doing nowadays, and it's relatively new. It's been out a little while, but compared to like all the other pranks that are out there, it's pretty new. The applepay prank, where somebody basically takes their phone, puts it right next to someone else's phone or Apple Watch, and they play the Apple Pay sound. And a lot of times how they do it, and by the way, they're usually wearing like those camera glasses where it's glasses with a camera on it, to make it less obvious what they're doing. So what they'll do is usually they'll start off with, asking the person what time it is, or they will, ask a person about their phone or their watch, trying to make innocent conversation or whatever. And what they will proceed to do is, say they ask for the time or whatever, and they pull their phone out. They'll take their phone, put it right next to the person's phone, the other person's phone, and play the Apple Pay sound. Or if they're wearing like an Apple Watch or some sort of smartwatch or whatever, they will put their phone next to the smartwatch and then play the Apple Pay sound. Now, mind you, these are complete strangers, and it's, I guess they call this a prank. I mean, I don't really see anything funny about it. And what happens after that is the person, a lot of times, they'll ask like, what's going on? What did you just do? And sometimes they'll run away and they'll get chased, and it just turns into a big commotion in the store. And that's basically what happens. And I guess this is how low pranks have stooped to nowadays, right? And it's very unfortunate that there's people out there that think this is funny. Now, I understand it's probably a lot of like young people, teenagers. I just don't see how, I would say, anyone over the age of 25 or over the age of 25, 30 years old would find this funny. People who actually have real lives to tend to, right? Real bills, rent, car payment, family, real responsibilities in life. I just don't see how people with real responsibilities in life would find something like this funny. I mean, this is a so-called prank where you're basically leading people to believe that you stole money from them, and you call this a prank. It is sickening when you really think about it. And it's I don't get it. I don't get it. And I never really see in any of these pranks where they tell the person, look, sorry, we're just playing, we're just joking, it's a prank. Very rarely will I see that. A lot of times they don't, unless if they tell them that, they don't put it on camera. But even with them telling them that at the end, that's not even funny. Like if somebody did that to me, I would tell them, look, that's not funny, and I would advise them that they not do that to other people, because you don't know how other people would react. Like me, the way I would react, I wouldn't get all loud and crazy and stuff, but I would politely tell them, you shouldn't be doing that to people. But there's other people that, they'll go off. They will get violent, right? Even if you do tell them, look, it's just a prank, it's just a joke. That's not a joke to some people. Some people out here, they will spaz out on you when you lead them to believe that you literally took money from them, right? Times are tough. People are struggling. And when you sit there and you lead people to believe that you stole money from them, yeah, a lot of people are not going to take kindly to that, right? And some people would resort to physical violence. And, I get the frustration and the anger that would arise from someone stealing money from them. I understand, right? Because look at the economy right now. There's hardly any jobs, and the jobs that are available a lot of times aren't paying a whole lot. People have families, people have kids that they have to feed. And there's just nothing funny about that. And look, we're in a social media, we're in a social media age where people are willing to do anything for attention. And obviously something like this gets views, it gets likes, it gets attention, right? Anybody who does this, they're going to get some sort of attention from it, right? Some sort of following from it. And, nowadays people, they'll do anything for that attention, right? And to me, it's like there's better ways to build a following on social media, like without using other people, using strangers to do that. Basically, at other, gaining a following at other people's expense. Like, you don't have to do that, right? There's different niches you can go into. Like, it's just, I don't get it with some people, man. It's like, the main message would be to, just leave people alone. Let people be. People just aren't going to take kindly to that. Like, I just, if I went up to someone and did some dumb stuff like that, and then at the end I tell them, oh, it's a prank, it's a joke, most people are still gonna spaz out on me because there's just nothing funny about that. And I don't see how these people don't understand that that's not funny, right? And most people with real responsibilities do not find something like that funny. There's nothing funny about that, right? I would hope no one gets seriously injured or hurt doing this sort of Apple Pay nonsense, this Apple Pay prank nonsense or whatever, but I think there will eventually come a time where someone gets seriously injured or even worse doing this type of stuff, right? Because now you're playing with people's money. And then also, too, you have to remember, I mean, we live in an age where there's all sorts of scams going on. I just got a scam text the other day where they were talking about I owed for like unpaid tolls. I'm pretty sure many of y'all have gotten this scam text where it tells you, oh, you have like some sort of toll violation notice, or you have like an outstanding balance in tolls. And there's this link that it tells you to click, and something told me that was a scam. So I actually just I typed in like outstanding toll balance text scam in Google just to see what would pop up, right? And of course it was all kind of news stories and this and that about like a scam text involving them telling you that there's some sort of like toll balance or outstanding balance in tolls that you owe, but it turns out it's a scam. And you end up clicking the link and you end up giving scammers money, along with plenty of other scams. I mean, I get scam calls too, and it's just it's truly a messed up thing that's going on out here with all these scams and stuff. And part of the reason is the economy. People are literally so desperate that they're willing to scam and scheme and screw other people over in order to make a dollar, right? Although that's no excuse to steal money from innocent people, not at all. But with the economy being the way it is, it just doesn't surprise me that there's people that would scoop to this level, right? Yeah. And social media, fame and attention. That is something that a lot of people want. It's something to where you can make the potential is there to make a lot of money with a very low barrier to entry. I mean, anyone with a smartphone can press the play button and upload really any type of content they want to, as long as it doesn't violate YouTube's guidelines or TikTok's guidelines or whatever. They can really upload anything they want. And as long as people resonate with either they resonate with what you're putting out there or enjoying what you put out there, you are able to build a following. But people use social media to try to gain a following at other people's expense, which is what these pranks do, right? And that's not right. Using strangers to gain a following, basically at strangers' expense, that's what I'm trying to say. That's wrong. That's really messed up, man. I'm not even gonna lie. That's really messed up. And I wouldn't be surprised if, because these pranks have gotten out of hand, I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube or TikTok kind of clean this content up, basically making it to where this source of content isn't allowed on their platforms. Because for right now, it's pretty obvious they don't really do a whole lot about it. I mean, they might do something here or there, but they don't really have it to where it's a like a total ban on this type of content. Because if this type of content gets banned on these social media platforms, they would be forced to do something else. Because as long as it's allowed, I mean, people are just going to still upload it. People are going to get famous off of it. And to me, in a way, it is bullying and harassment, which you're not allowed to do on these platforms anyway. I mean, you're harassing people, bullying people. I just think that it violates their guidelines in that sense anyway, right? I mean, going up to people and pretending that you're stealing their money, and then you're recording their reaction, putting it all over the internet without their permission. More than likely, I'm pretty sure they didn't ask most of these people for their permission to upload them reacting to them, like basically pretending to steal money from them. You think they really asked these people for permission to put their image all over the internet of them reacting to what they did, to what the so-called prankster did to them, pretend that they stole money from them, you know? And I've seen where some people were like, oh, I need the money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, because that's part of the prank too. Some people will be like, oh man, I just needed a few dollars to, do this, or I just needed a few extra dollars, man. And I guess that's part of the prank. And it's like, well, I don't get what's wrong with these people, man. I tell you, like, anything for attention nowadays, instead of just saying, you know what, I'm gonna build my brand the right way. And it's and another thing too, now I think about it, why would you want to build a brand off of something this tacky? Like, you want your name to be associated with a person who goes around and pulls pranks on random people? Like, I don't get that. I would never want my brand to be built off of basically harassing other people, because that's all it is nowadays. It's harassing. It ain't no real prank. Like, why would you want your name to be built off of that? But again, it all circles back to, people will literally do anything for some attention, for some fame, and that's where we're at in society. Everybody wants to be a big social media person, a big influencer, and for some people, I mean, that's a real possibility, but yeah, for a lot of people, it could be supplemental income. But everybody wants to be the next big YouTuber, next big like social media person, and it's like, for most people, that's just not, it's just not feasible for most people, right? Most people, I think a lot of people can make some supplemental income off of it, but doing it full time, and people are willing to do this to get famous, and it's like, yeah, kind of the same thing with streaming. Everybody wants to be the next like big name streamer. That's just, yeah. And you have to remember, when you do this, you're kind of at the mercy of the algorithm too. So the algorithm doesn't want to show you to other people. You're just not going to grow like that. If the algorithm does, then you will. Now, you can do things that help the algorithm push you out to other people, but ultimately it is up to the algorithm, right? By using the right keywords and SEO and whatnot, that can help, but ultimately it's up to the algorithm, right? So that's why with me, personally, I don't think I would ever try to do like YouTube or any sort of social media full time, because you're just at the mercy of the algorithm, right? And your following count doesn't actually matter. It's about how many people actually watch your videos. It's about your views, right? because that's how you really get paid, right? It's not about having lots and lots of subscribers and followers. If because you can have a lot of people that follow your pages, but if you don't get the views and stuff like that, and it's like, you won't really make enough to do it full time. That's why with me, even this ASMR channel, like, I make money doing this, but it ain't a whole lot of money, right? It's decent side income, but it ain't nowhere near like full time, and I wouldn't want to rely on YouTube full time anyway. I'd rather just build something else like outside of social media, and do that full time versus like social media. But again, it can be decent side income. But yeah, anyway, we're about to hit the 21-minute mark. Yeah, but anyway, just a word of advice for anyone who wants to do this Apple Pay prank or any of these sorts of pranks. Just remember, when someone looks you up 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, do you want your name and image associated with you harassing innocent people, innocent strangers? Like, is that the type of legacy you want to leave behind on the internet? Because once it's on the internet, it's out there. It's just something to think about. Really something to think about. Some people don't care. But there's going to be a lot of people that look back and be like, wow, I shouldn't have did that. That was messed up for me to do that to that innocent person. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people like that. You look back on your legacy and what you did in life. You harass people, bully people, all for clicks and likes and views. Think about it. I do not advise anybody to do these sorts of pranks. Right? Build your brand another way. Don't get on here doing these silly pranks and stuff like that, messing with people. Most people don't find this stuff funny. People with real bills, like I said before. People with real responsibility, real bills, right? They don't find this stuff funny. I mean, seriously. I don't see how anybody that's over the age of 25, 30 years old, I don't see how anybody can find it funny past that age. So, anyway, let me bring this video to a close. I really hope that you are relaxed, and please stay tuned for more videos.